Hey, we have just hit the 30,000 subscriber mark. Huge thank you to everyone. Let's get into the video. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to repair severe rust damage by splicing two panels together and metal finishing. Okay, 1963 Impala SS convertible. They do not make this piece, the inner and outer wheel houses. So you can see the damage. We are going to repair that. And there's only two ways to do this. Well, you can do it the right way or the hack way. We're going to do it the right way. So I'm prepping the inner wheelhouse, hammer and dolling. Okay, we're going to have to address the inner and outer wheelhouse, both of them. So we're going to start with the inner. And we're going to get that all hammer and dolly back into shape after we've prepped it. There it is. And that's what we have to work with. Luckily, it's not too bad. And we have some nice reference points. Now, I had to cut the front of this wheelhouse inner out already. So what we're going to do is this bracket, well, there's actually a couple brackets. We're going to drill out the resistance wells, and we're going to slide the repair behind and then reattach. Okay, we're separating the panel. Here is our new inner and outer wheelhouse assembly for a 1963 hardtop or coupe. That's going to be our donor piece. And we're going to get that prepped. And we've drilled out our resistance wells, and now we're going to separate the rear section. Straighten that out a little bit. And we're going to lay out our cut line. And you'll notice I'm going to put some little V's, and that is the direction of the cut. It's just a reference. If you don't, you might cut the wrong side of the tape. And that would be bad. Okay, here we go. We're going to get our donor piece cut out. And there's our donor piece. And we have some nice reference marks in the back. Now we're laying out our cut line on our inner wheelhouse. And we're just going to repeat the steps. I'm going to make a nice straight cut here. And we're going to clean that up with a flat disc. And now we're going to drill out the resistance wells. We don't want to drill all the way through. We want this a backer. So we're going to split it now. You can see I haven't went all the way through. And we're going to slide our donor piece up underneath. And then that little indention there, the first one, rib, if that's what you want to call it, that's going to be our alignment. That and then the factory alignment tab. For the back, then we'll just have to set the front height. Yeah, that right there. And here's our factory alignment tab. Okay, we're going to quick clamp that into place where I think it should go. And we're going to check with the old piece that we had cut off for the correct height. Now this has some really good reference points. You can see the body line there. We're just matching that up. Now we're going to mark that out. And you can see our scribe mark line. Now we don't want to cut on that line. We're going to trim this piece down a little bit more because we don't need all of this excess. And using tape so we can make a nice straight crisp line. Yeah, this is critical here. If we were to cut the wrong side, we'd be buying a new replacement panel. There it is. Okay, now we're just deburring. Okay, now we're coming into the critical part for this method. Okay, I'm going to add a couple of punch holes so we can do plug welds. Now we know the height of the two pieces being spliced, exactly where they should go. And we're going to get some clamps to secure that. Do not want it to move at this point. Now doing this method technique, getting it started, everything going the correct way is critical. And taking your time and doing this the right way is critical on this. Otherwise, it's going to turn into a big mess. Okay, this is going to be our actual cut line. And the reason we're doing it this way is we were just to try to cut that all the way, and we're using a 3-inch by 1/32, and that is very important because we want a small cut. We're going to go ahead and anchor this into place because we're ready to take off. If you're to use like an 1/8 inch cutoff wheel, that's going to be too big of a gap. We want a small gap. We can adjust the gap. If it's too big, yeah, you're going to run into a lot of problems. And we want to start on one end and go to the opposite end. Start at A, end at B. We do not want to start in the middle or on the ends because we have to have mobility and movement in the parts. We don't want to trap the parts. Okay, so here we go. Now this is a perfect mating cut. If we were to try to just cut the line with a marker mark or something like that, you'll never get as a precise cut as doing it this way. That's going to allow us to weld these two pieces together and get a perfect outcome. And you can see that the scraper blade, that's about the same width as that cutoff wheel. So we can maintain and make our gap. Now you want to hold both pieces in the correct position. That's a little trick. You don't want to hit that with that little end there. You want a nice clean cut off end on your MIG and you want to get a tack on it. Now you can see why the size of the gap is critical. If that gap was too big, yeah, the metal's too thin, you're going to have, it's just going to be a nightmare. So you want the correct gap so that we can tack weld these. The weld nugget is going to go all the way through to both sides. Let me rephrase that. You're going to have penetration, good penetration on both sides, and that's exactly what you want. Now we're just going to start, take our time, keep all of the metal secure. As we go, we're constantly checking to make sure that the metal hasn't moved in or out. We want both pieces parallel. That's very, very important. And that's why we're using the clamps with the flat ends now, because we're getting out into that flat section. If you do this part wrong, or if you hurry too much, you're going to have a misalignment, or you're going to put too much heat into the panel. That's going to cause it to start oil canning. Once that happens, you're going to have a bad day. Oil canning. What is oil canning? Oil canning is when the metal pops or pushes in or out. It won't stay stable, and the reason that happens, when you either strike metal with a hammer, or it is damaged in a collision, or you weld it or put heat on it with a torch, plasma cutter, anything like that, the metal will stretch or contract in areas. That will cause oil canning. You do not want that. And this is a really time-consuming way to do this, but we can metal finish this and no one will ever know. And so, like I said in the beginning, we could do this really the correct way, or we could just lap it, and that's not the type of work that I do here. A lot of shops, they do what they do, I do what I do. This type of vehicle, we try to only take on vehicles that people want correct work done. We're going to put value into this vehicle. If this vehicle's worth enough money to do things correctly. And you can see that we're maintaining our gap. And you can see everything's fitting really nice. We're almost halfway through this panel. Now, you constantly have to stay on top of the metal, keeping it flush, keeping it parallel, keeping the gap correct, because as soon as you put a tack on it and introduce heat into those two panels, they're going to move. You cannot just take off. It's very time consuming, but the payoff is huge. Patience. And here's what it looks like all finished. And you can see that the panels look really good. So we're going to dress this down now with a grinding wheel. And these steps are going to be done in a progression. This isn't a one and done. You can't finish it all with a grinding wheel. And if you try, you're going to gouge the metal. That's not what we're going for. Then you'll have to use body filler. We're going to shoot for, or we will, we're not going to shoot for, we're going to metal finish this where the only thing that you will need to apply is primer. No body filler. And we'll usually do 2 passes. The first pass, just knock off the tops of the welds. Second pass, a little bit further. Now we've moved on to a Rolox disc. And you want to keep everything flat when you're grinding, because if you angle it too much, you're going to gouge the metal. And you'll definitely see it. And you can see it's really starting to come into shape now. Now I've switched over to a flap disc, and this is a 60 grit. And we're just working it down, working it down. Now these areas will be very visible. This could make or break this restoration, because if you do a nice job on the outside, it's got a nice interior, open the trunk, you will definitely be able to see this area. When the top is down, you will be able to see some of this area. Don't want to cheap out. Quality. Now we're switching over to 36 grit on an 8-inch. Now you could use a 6-inch, and I have a mini D.I.Y. I think this will be enough to finish this out. Then the next step after this would be primer. And if you use a nice high build quality primer, you're not going to have any issues. And then we're going to check our work, because the camera can fool you. And we're going to put a straight edge on this and see what time it really is. See what we've really done here. Now some of those little pits you see, that was already there above the cut line. Those were in that panel. There are little rust pits. We've already taken care of that with the media blasting. And this is another critical area too. Here, when you're working the metal, like with this orbital, if you push too hard or if you stay on the metal too long, heat it up, that can cause warping and oil canning also. Okay. Well, I'm pretty happy with it. And like I said, really doesn't need body filler. So let's get the straight edge on it and see what we've really done here. Okay, there's one angle from the top. Everything's nice and straight. I'm going to call that good. Non-obtainable part saved. Hey, this is Robert at Guzzi Fabrication. Thank you for watching.